Hello everyone, Eric with Ham Radio Concepts again, and we have sort of a part 2 to the Baofeng DM-5R Plus. You've seen my DM-5R video, and Radiodity sent me this one and said, Eric, check this out in comparison. So that's what I'm going to do. DM-5R Plus. You remember the DM-5R video I did where I showed the differences between analog and digital. Let's first go back. I'll show you a short clip of the difference between analog and digital, and then we'll go further. KI4 LU Yankee from KJ4YZI.
KJ4YZI, KI4 LU Yankee, how copy?
A little noisy on UHF. High power 443.025. Stock antennas are about 1.5 miles away, I'd say. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. Yeah, I hear a little bacon crackling, but 100% copy.
KI4 LU Yankee from KJ4YZI on digital. Go ahead.
Yeah, KJ4YZI, Kilo 4, Lima Uniform Yankee. Yeah, no bacon hissing in the background. Beautiful, smooth audio.
Okay, so you're new to DMR, you see the differences. Well, you remember they had an upgrade, and they said for $10 you can download the firmware and upgrade this yourself to make it Tier 2 compatible. That was a little bit of a challenge for most people. So they decided to skip that part and make a DM-5R Plus. And the DM-5R Plus really adds a second time slot, but it's still only not fully Tier 2 compatible. So using this on a repeater or hotspot, I did make some contacts on the Brandmeister network. However, I had some issues because it's transmitting on both time slots at the same time. So people were reporting doubled audio or stuttery audio because of that issue. But if you're talking about analog versus digital, this can still be used as a normal UV5R with the addition of the digital. So let's say you're hiking. Let's say you're in a public service event and you're using this, this morning is Thanksgiving morning. Happy Thanksgiving. And let's say you are doing the turkey trot. You're volunteering as a radio operator for your local club to do the turkey trot where people are running a 5K and you're stationed on a post. Instead of using analog, which can be bad in certain areas, the DMR digital portion would be exceptional over analog at the total other end of the race that you're doing if it's a couple miles away. Because you are on digital and it's narrower, it would be crystal clear. Great for Tier 1 operations, like instead of using FRS blister pack radios from Walmart, having this to be able to use your analog and digital repeaters, but having, analog repeaters, VHF and UHF, but being able to at least monitor DMR on repeaters and use it Tier 1 functionality as simplex. So let's get some audio reports of this coming through my hotspot and seeing that what it sounds like through the hotspot.
So that 310, 311, all the things that need to be time slot 1 or time slot 1, yet sitting here looking at the dashboard for my MMDVM host, and it's still telling me I'm time slot 2, and I've been time slot 1 on the buy also. So I got to do some more research here and figure out what in the world is going on. Well, you're operating simplex, are you not? Yes, I am. I guess the radio's smart enough to know if I'm going simplex, it goes to time slot 2 only, doesn't it? I don't really have a straight answer for you. I'm not sure what the mode is when it's not going through a repeater. That's where the slots exist. I'm not sure they really exist when you're simplex. And I think the software just simply defines it as being slot 1 and slot 2 for line's sake, but I don't think it's really slotted on simplex.
Looking at other features, it does have the same type of battery as a UV5R. It does have the same speaker mic connections for the programming cable and speaker mic, so those are all still compatible. It does have your flashlight, which is always useful on these radios. It does have the most noticed menu functions in here. When you go into menu, you can change the LED colors. You can change once you program in here for the DMR side, you can change your contact talk groups on here once you make a list of them. So makes it pretty easy to go to menu 31 and change your talk group. Color code and slot 1 or slot 2. The step size and high power, low power, all the other stuff, CTCSS tones for analog and such like that. So a lot of those features you're familiar with haven't changed. Okay, so maybe in other parts of the world or other countries, the Tier 1 standard for DMR is a lot more popular than it is in my area. For DMR's sake, let's go into the programming software and see how this looks when you're programming it and show you the options. It is rather easy, and maybe I'll make some more videos on DMR and programming, because something like Radioddity also has the Ushan D901, which almost the software is almost the same, and they also have the GD55, which I'll be showing you next. But let's go in and show the basics of making digital contacts or zones on a radio like this, so you can understand what it means to make the programming of this radio on your computer and show what it really means.
So looking at the programming software for the DM5R and DM5R Plus, kind of give you an idea of what the programming means on DMR. So make sure your device is connected, make sure your COM port is established correctly in your DV device manager, and make sure if you're having issues, make sure the driver you download is 3.2.2.0. The Vista driver is what you want to use. Trust me, I'm on Windows 10. Use the Vista driver. You can Google it on Miclore's site, and you will never have a problem. So read from the radio, and it takes less than 10 seconds to read all the info on the radio. Now, I did do a little bit of programming just for testing's sake, so there's a couple already in here. If it looks confusing to you, I'll just try to walk you through it the best I can. So with DMR, you have a contact list, and the contact list is basically where you want to talk. Where do you want to talk? Do you want to talk on a statewide Florida system? Do you want to talk TAC 310? Do you want to talk on the Brandmeister network group, and we'll call it 3148? That's a talk group that whatever machine or reflector or hotspot is connected to 3148, that's who you're going to talk to. If you want to talk worldwide on a group, I think worldwide is talk group 2, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so you have a couple contacts here. Statewide 3112, TAC 310, Brandmeister 3148, worldwide number 2. Okay, so we'll just keep that for video's sake. And we'll go to channels. Now, channels is basically where you're directing your radio to talk. So if you look here, I have 3 set up here on my DV Mega. For instance, my DV Mega simplex frequency is 444.6, and your settings in here. So what we'll do is we'll make another channel. Let's say you're programming to a local repeater in your area. Okay, we'll set this up here on a new channel. We'll call it digital channel. A repeater frequency in your area, in my case it's 444.325 with the standard plus 5 megahertz offset on UHF, and the name of that repeater actually is KJ4YZI. That's a DMR repeater in my area. Now, color code 1, or you can pick the color code that corresponds to your area. Slot 1 or 2, and remember, even if I pick slot 2 with this radio, I have some sort of issue with it transmitting on slot 1 as well. But for video's sake and applying to all DMR, mostly these radios, it shows you an idea of what I'm doing. And the contacts. So you're on the KJ4YZI repeater. Where do you want to talk? Well, I want to talk worldwide. We'll leave that as one frequency, one channel. Now I'll go to the next channel, and we'll do the same thing. We'll make it digital. We'll set the same repeater frequency locally. Okay. We'll call this one KJ4YZI. Color code 1, we'll make it slot 2, but we'll make this contact Brandmeister 3148. That's where that one is. So now you can see when I'm on the radio, channel 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and as I make more channels, you can add more talk groups and pretty much direct where you want it to talk. If you, you set your repeater frequency in here, your color code, and your contact. So that's, a lot of this other stuff may be confusing, and I don't really use it because this is basically what I'm, needing. I don't need to encrypt. I don't need to mess with the impolite or whatever. So you have those, and then the group list. There's other group lists you can make. You can add to a list. So now when I go back to my channel, say channel 4, I can open my group list and I can go to list 1, and that's going to have all the things I add in list 1. But we won't get into that. Basically what you need is your frequency to name the channel, your color code, your slot, and your contact. And that's pretty much it. Once you have all that, you would just go and write to radio. It takes a little longer to write, but this probably looks familiar as the UV5R was. Similar look in the software, but you have different features that you have to program for DMR. So hopefully, it gives you. When I check out some Hytera radios, then we'll see what the Hytera software looks like. In the meantime, this is pretty much similar to the Radioddity GD-55 and the Ushan. Pretty much the same thing with their own little quirks. Does show you the radio information here, the software version of stuff. Base set. So the base set. This right here is where you want to put your radio ID. And if you don't put your radio ID in there, you won't be recognized on the network. On DMR, you have to register for a radio ID. And there's mine, 311-28887. And, you can have a couple other things here for Vox and stuff like that. Your timeout timer. Make sure that's not set to 60 if you're a long-winded talker. So other than that, there's a lot of other little things in here that you may or may not want to play with. The message text, so you can send a message from this. You could predefine it. Hey, this is, no spaces, I guess. Hey, this is Eric. Won't let you put a space in there, but hello. And then you would go into the radio in the menu and you can send the message text hello without typing it in on the keyboard. So that's the programming software in a nutshell, just to be basic.
So that's the DM-5R Plus, in case you're interested. It can be bought at radioddity.com. And if there's anybody out there who's experimenting and has this working on certain repeater systems, please leave a comment below. And subscribe, because I have a big announcement for some other DMR stuff heading my way. So we'll get to that. Stay subscribed and like on Facebook. Check out radioddity.com for this and other radios that they have on their store. And 7.3 from KJ4YZI.